Once upon a chilling night, a man named Mark had been on a long business trip and was finally on his way back home. He was on an isolated route that cut through a dense forest, and his journey was accompanied only by the hum of his car's engine and the rhythmic tapping of rain against the windshield. He had been driving for hours and fatigue was starting to set in. Out of nowhere, he noticed a figure standing by the side of the road. It was an old woman, dressed in a worn-out black dress, her frail hands clutching a battered suitcase. Mark, being a good Samaritan, decided to pull over and offer her a ride. The woman had a gaunt face, her eyes seemed hollow and lifeless, like two dark abysses. She barely spoke, only indicating where she needed to go, a small town named Northwood, which Mark knew was on his way home. As they drove on, the car radio began to glitch, turning itself on and off, shifting between static and a peculiar frequency that echoed the sound of a distant, old-timey music. Mark found it unsettling but brushed it off, attributing it to a faulty connection. The woman, however, seemed to hum softly along with the music, as if in a trance. Feeling increasingly uneasy, Mark decided to look up Northwood on his phone, only to find there was no such place. It had vanished off the maps decades ago after a devastating fire had consumed it all. Panic rose in Mark's chest. He glanced back at the woman, who now stared at him through the rearview mirror with an unnerving smile plastered on her face. He felt a chill crawl up his spine, and his heart pounded in his chest. What was he dealing with? Mark decided to take his chances and stop the car, planning to tell the woman to get out. But when he turned to the back seat, it was empty. The woman was gone. The only trace of her was the battered suitcase she had been holding, now lying ominously on the seat. Suddenly, the radio sprung back to life, but this time with a news broadcast, one from decades ago. It spoke of a devastating fire in Northwood, and the unfortunate death of an old woman who was the last to perish, clutching her suitcase. The woman's last words, the report mentioned, were a song she hummed as her home turned to ash. Mark was now left in the deafening silence of his car, the horrifying realization settling in. He was alone again on the dark road, only the soft patter of rain accompanying his racing heartbeat. He looked back at the suitcase one more time before hitting the gas and speeding all the way home, the echo of the old woman's hum still lingering in his ears. From that night on, Mark was never the same. His encounter with the woman from Northwood was a chilling reminder of the strange and inexplicable events that could take place even in the most ordinary circumstances. And he never stopped on that lonely road ever again.